Tony, I'll let others
I thought
ask
that was
you.
the Boston College Florida State score, but I realize it's not that close, unfortunately.
I'll let others ask you about Momedy and Braxton. What about Kihei, particularly the shot he made? And I think you'd gone almost 5 minutes at that point without a field goal.
Well, they went small and started switching, and we had a decision to make. We didn't have the matchups defensively, but I wanted to get Jay on the floor for rebounds, post-ups, but it was hard matchups, but they actually did okay. But Kihei, he's done it, and he continues to do it, and made the big shot, and we needed every ounce of it. So I just can't say enough about what he's got going on inside here, and it's a great way to finish off the regular season for him and of course the others. But that was a clutch shot. When you switch, sometimes you can back those guys off and get a good look at those threes, but you still got to make it. It's a little harder. Some teams, they're staying at home and making him finish down there, and we had a couple of, again, shots blocked and a turnover late. But, again, Momedy made a tough shot, and we got a couple key stops, and it comes down to making plays. And, did you think it was going to end any other way? So.
Coach, it was the 8th straight senior day win. What does it mean sending off players with a win like that, and also what Momedy and Braxton have done?
I told them I thank them for what they've meant to this program yesterday, before practice and after practice. But and I said to them, as much as I'd love it if BC could get it and you could get a share of the ACC title, that doesn't take away what just transpired in terms of the effort you put out there, how you played, and what you've done this year, and for your careers here. They both, start with Braxton, terrific. For him to make that decision to come here, he was patient last year, and in big moments did some big things for us, of course. And then Momedy, for 5 years he's been here, and just thinking of that and watching him mature and seeing how, joyful he is, emotional, and you could just see he did not want to be denied. And very thankful that they got to end that way, and but so much more left.
Tony, another victory by a single possession going into March. Going to be some close games, obviously. How do you feel your team is playing going into the tournament, ACC tournament?
Yeah, I think we've improved. We were really close when we were losing, and we're still really close when we're winning. We've just improved a little bit. I think we had a nice defensive outing today. I think with the emergence for that Stretch Thomas, though he didn't shoot it as well today, his improved play. Jay has stepped up. I think Momedy and Kihei have been very good. Braxton, I just think, guys have just moved the needle a little bit, and it's been enough. And we know what our lifeline is trying to be as good as we can defensively. And we had good stretches of offense today. You hope you're always you hope you're healthy, and you hope you're playing sound quality basketball heading into the ACC tournament and, obviously the NCAA tournament as well.
Yeah, to what do you attribute Jay's steady improvement over the last half of the season?
He just, he's gotten more opportunities, of course, playing time. He's practiced better. He's gotten the right kind of confidence, and I think he's improved defensively. His shot blocking has been a factor. I mean, to leave, that lineup on the floor, I don't even think that would have crossed my mind, in the last 2.5 years, but he's working, he was active, and again, I think what he's given us with his skill and his offense, along with his shot blocking. Sorry, I thought I saw a score flash. I'm a little distracted. I saw Florida State scored, but never mind. It was women's basketball. So it made me wait a second. That game is, but so I like his maturation. He's been patient too, like Braxton, and he believes in his game and he works at it. And when you have success, you just kind of hopefully keep coming.
Tony, Stephen Enoch had 11 points for them in the first half, nothing in the second half. What did you do better on him in the second half? And did that allow Nwora to maybe get going?
Yeah, I thought we really did a good job. Even in his points, I thought our ball pressure was really good tonight or today, whatever. We were active on the ball, and we trapped at times and made it hard for him, and just kind of tried to scramble and cover out of it and get to shooters quick. Kihei started it. He was the point of attack with his on-ball defense. And then again, whether it was coming with a trap or just making his shots earned, you just see you give Nwora a little sliver, boom, it's off, and he shoots it so quick. And but we made him earn. You know, he was 6 of 17, yes, 4 of 9, but I thought we made him earn, and that was maybe as good as we could do for the majority of the game. A couple lapses, but overall it was a well-played defensive game for us.
Tony, of all the tools that Kihei has, I didn't know that post-up moves were one of them. Was that your directive? I mean, did you know he could do that?
I work hard on his post-up moves at all. But we do try to get him to playoff too. But he just kept working, and that made me smile. I think I did. I just looked at the bench and I'm like, wow. So that was impressive. And again, every basket was valuable. He kept his composure in there, and then he created some space. And we'll see if he's going to put out a teaching video on post moves or not. But that was pretty nice.
Coach, right here. The score was 16-8 early. You got a chance to regroup with the guys, and then the next few possessions defensively, you guys were really locked in. Is there anything you said to them specifically, or how did you reel them in?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I think we were. I liked the shots we were getting offensively, even though we weren't making them. So I said, okay, you're going offensively, but just a couple mishaps, couple breakdowns where they got behind us, they beat us outside. And we always say defense is such a matter of the heart, and then it's you bring the soundness and your mind with it, but just lay it on the line. And I think we tightened up some things, and then when we're right, our length is for real, and so we got some deflections. And I think what triggered it even more is the ball pressure. I just kept seeing Kihei get after it. I saw other guys active hands, and I thought that energized us. And of course, the crowd was a good one. Boy, that was. You could feel it. You could hear it. One time it was so loud we missed a call that gave him a bucket, but I'll take that because we were trying to yell to Jay and he didn't hear it, so it got to a nice place. And I have great respect for the quality and the maturity of Louisville's team and their coaches, the job they do. And they were playing for an ACC championship, as were we, barring, some help from BC. So that was a very intense game.
Coach, they played through Enoch in the first half, and then they went.
I didn't hear the first.
They played through Enoch in the first
Yes.
half, then they went small in the second half.
Yeah.
Can you just talk one more time about that decision to go with your core and live with switches? And what did you say to the guys defensively? Did you challenge them to scramble at the end?
Yeah, they did a good job. We were, scoring, and we got a couple looks, didn't make them, but they switched. Florida State. Some teams do that, and you got to kind of go back and say, what do we want to do? Spread the floor. We got again some looks, missed them, but I was more worried about the defensive matchups. But I just thought we got to go with our guys that can score. I felt like we needed a few more buckets because they were starting to score, and I thought try to get it inside if we can. We were a little crude at times, but play with the switch, try to get a post up. If not, attack with a mismatch off the dribble. But even when they're small, they guard inside, but they're pretty quick with their slides. It's not like he had all these advantages, so just try to match up.
Tony, Kihei told us at Virginia Tech that he wasn't giving up that ball. He was taking that shot. He makes the shot today. How valuable is it to the team at large? Obviously, those 2 shots went in, but when the point guard takes ownership of the results of those plays that determine the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, Momini's made some huge post buckets late in the game down, so it's not just like Kihei's going to shoot every time. I challenged him after the Miami game, and he responded in the right way because I thought he made a big floater and made his free throws, but thought he made some his decisions weren't as sound. Well, I thought, you're not going to be perfect, but it's everyone. But he has that in him, and it's big. What's been on his plate this year is a lot from, again, what we lost and him having to make the plays and do a lot. But I think the improvement of the other guys and other guys coming to play has helped him and let him, distribute a little more, but pick and choose a touch more, even though he still has to be a main part of it. But he's wired that way.